Hello, everyone. Yeah, welcome. Really glad to see you all. And I hope you will get something useful today. And first of all, as guys already did, but I also want to, introduce myself. Yes, I'm this face and Senior Director of Engineering. I'm sort of responsible for whole QA. Now I'm a bit responsible for ML team. We're starting machine learning initiatives. And accessibility is a big thing. Well, we won't discuss it today, but probably one day we have to touch it anyway, because it's really important nowadays. So, what we're going to have today is we have Artem Eroshenko. He's author of Allure report. Maybe you know it. Does anybody know Allure? Cool. And we will have sort of talk together about test case management systems, how it evolved, about new Allure server thing. Then we have Pavel Pribel. He will talk about social intelligence in QA in a way how we can approach our QA transformation. Then we have a Maxim Mikhaev with performance. It's more technical talks after that, and it's about performance iOS testing. And then three our guys, Sergey, Stanislav, and Ivan, are going to talk about our infrastructure, how we run tests, how we do all that stuff, and how we save a lot of time with that. And that's it. Yes, 15 minutes break, as was told, and we decided that all the questions we will move to the informal part, and so after the talk there will be a break, and you can reach a speaker and discuss whatever you want. All right. So a bit words about Wrike. So Wrike is a SaaS, it's software as a server, and we call it work management solution. And there's sort of new, relatively new product niche, types of product. It's competitive place, and as this product, as a platform, we have a lot of different features. For example, we have tasks we can edit together. We have different software for planning. We have a Gantt chart and all that stuff for big managers that coordinate huge teams in our product. There are different ways of representing tasks in our product. There are calendar, you can use table view and a board view, different other stuff. We have special features for those our clients who work with media content. They can collaborate on them, discuss different things, going through approval process with that. And of course, it's management tools. There are a lot of tools regarding reporting. And of course, we have mobile applications for iOS and Android, and we have quite heavy mobile applications that in most cases cover all the features we have in our web application. And speaking about Wrike process, more like QA-relative processes, I would say. We have 30 Scrum teams. QA are parts of this team. It's sort of part of our culture. We work in teams, in Scrum teams. We have one product in our company, and this is sort of important feature for our processes too, because everyone build one product, deploy one product. Well, I have to say that we also have iOS, Android, and some integration stuff, which work in different alternative processes. But anyway, one product, everyone talking about this Wrike, everyone trying to do the things Wrike, and we have Wrike as our bug tracker, test tracker, and we try to do all our work inside our product. And what is important also for QA is that we have daily deploys, and all this stuff, all this software deploying every day, sometimes even more frequent. And this is an important part of our culture about our process that every day we have to run all our tests. We don't have time to run a lot of manual regression of this things, so we have huge efforts in test automation. All right, let's start our talk about test case management systems. And this is mostly Artem Eroshenko who will present in this talk, but I want to make a brief sort of keynote regarding QA evolution as I see it, which is sort of leading to the way we use that new software that Artem built. And do you know where is it from? Raise your hand if you know where is it from.
I know.
test
I
is
know.
dead. Nobody? Well, that's fun. Well, it was 2011 in Google Testing Conference, where Alberto Savoia presented his talk about testing is dead. And I was lucky to participate at the event in California. It was like, for me and for Artem, it was, that this was a trip to know how Google tests software, how they actually do it. And we was trying to ask all the things, all the stuff. And first thing we got this talk. It was like first thing. And, well, a lot of things to think about. Actually, Alberto recently this year put his video explaining his provocative talk. And generally, this talk is about test is dead means QA is changing. Be aware that something is changing in our world. We have to find maybe some different points of application for us, what we have to do, how we have to transform our processes. And you know, there are a lot of companies that declare they have some special processes regarding QA. Some of them don't hire QAs, others like transform it so that developers test everything. But nobody answer all that questions, how we have to get there. If it's really a right direction for each particular company, and how much will it cost when we have a particular situation and want to transform it. And a lot of risks around that, because do we ready to take that risks, how we really have to, or whether we should to transform our processes. And well, let's move step by step in sort of optimal direction. That is sort of approach. We have to see what is effective, but how we can do that. How we can find what is a good way, what is the optimal direction. Well, so for this talk, I want to touch one idea that imagine we have that ultimate developer. It's maybe real or imaginary, as you like it. And this developer obviously tests everything, automate everything, and code everything. What is important about this guy is that communication inside this person is quite efficient. See, this person communicates inside himself probably quite well, and probably he or she can reduce documentation around his work, because he knows what have to be done, in which layers, what tests was written on which layer, what I test manually, automate, and so on. And this is a concept where we can try to get, even if we don't have this particular situation when developer tests everything. The opposite situation when we have developer, manual tester, and automation guy sitting in totally other place. And these two guys are trying to communicate on different level of technical knowledge. It's hard. They probably also sit in different companies or whatever and have a lot of problems in this process. And also this is a cold communication sometimes. When these people also communicate through test cases, they don't have same scope of knowledge, same understanding of product, and these test cases are heavy. They have to write a lot of details to just transfer their work from one person to another. And then we have to check that all the tests are written well, and so it's heavy communication here and there. And what we can do on the way to reach maybe sort of that situation with one particular person is try to fix these communication points. So Allure, as a tool and approach, is sort of help us with that. And also it's a lot of things about culture and how we transform our processes. Guys will also talk about it a bit later. But today, for now, I'm move my microphone to Artem Eroshenko.
It's Mike.
Please welcome.
Hello. Oh, it's work. Okay, it works. Thank you, Mike. Hello, my name is Artem Eroshenko, and I have 10 years experience in quality assurance. Also, I have about 8 years of experience in quality tools development, and most known tool is Allure Report. which helps you to analyze automated test results. As you can see, here is a human readable body with human readable steps, and these reports available for any language, any framework you are using. For example, JUnit, Jest, TestNG, PyTest, and other things. So we are working on it with my team here, Stas and Dima. And today I tell you about test documentation, as Mike said, in case of automation is growing. So, for example, you have thousands of test cases, and half of them is manual, and half of them is automated. And I'm sorry. And how it looks like. So first of all, I tell you about test case management. After that, I tell about test cases code principles. And after, in last part, is about Allure Server demonstration. Is our brand new product, which helps you save a lot of time and reduce manual work as well. So, how many people here know about test case management tools? For example, TestRail. No? Okay. And who using KSV or some kind of Excel for test documentation? How is it? Excel, yes, good. Why we are using test case management systems at all? First of point is store test cases and share them in your company. Any colleague really like to know about what tested and how tested in your company. The next point is maintain and plan manual testing. You select a few tests on feature, on some kind of story, and create test run and check pass it or fail it, and after that you can present your colleagues test results, and it's really cool. Also, test case management systems will some kind of teams using test case management systems for data documentation for automated test. Manual testers write human readable scenario with many detailed step, and after that put it to automation, and a core developer in test writes the code using this scenario as documentation. And last point is test case management tools can collect information about after test statuses and other things. So let's look closely on three workflows in case of automation and manual test cases. So how test case creates? Manual testers write some test cases into test case management tool. After that, QA developer writes the code using these test cases as documentation. And the last point is GitHub. He push his code to the branch, and after review, he push it to the master. So it's really long way for writing test cases. When for example, I'm not using test documentation, manual test for writing my tests. I just write it and it's all. And it's really bad when you have such process. It's like waterfall process. It's not agile. It's bad. If you can delete this part, we save a lot of time. And this is first problem. The second problem is update test cases. So what we have? We have thousands of tests, and half of them automated, and half of them is manual. And automated tests in our GitHub repository. What next? We run these tests After that, we built Allure report or some kind of another reports. I don't know. After that, in this report, I analyze broken test and failed test. I need to fix our broken tests. Maybe some kind of elements, web elements are closed or moved. After that, when I fix our tests, I commit it into GitHub. And test case management system know nothing about any updates. So we have two tests. One test in test case management system, one test in code, and they're different tests. In next time, this different test is bad, because when I try to find our cases, I see outdated tests, but have updated code. The third flow is run test cases. How it looks like. We have manual testers and QA test developer. So first goes to TestRail, and second one goes to Jenkins. First start TestRail run, and second one starts Jenkins job and build Allure report. After that, they analyze test results separately. We have test case manual test in TestRail and have automated test in Allure, because Allure has a lot of information about test logs, steps, screenshots, and other stuff. And if you sense status of test case in your test case management system, it's not really bad, because I always go to Allure because I have no information in TestRail. I need, as I said, I need screenshots, logs, steps, and other stuff. So this is three flows, and vintage TMS, which problems any vintage manual TMS has. First of all, it requires many manual work. Second, we always have two sources of truth, one in code, one is TestRail. The third one, test, is outdated really fast. And the last one is poor mixed report. So, but I think the main problem is a lot of manual work. So, let's speak about test case as a code concept. If we move our test cases to code, we have such benefits: single point of truth, branches, text review, automation coupled, language agnostic. It's really good. It's kind of fantastic results. So let's find out how we can make it. First of all, we need to look closely on test case in TestRail, how it looks like. It has title and ID, first of all. After that, it has some kind of groups, feature and story, for example. Also, it has about information about members, author, and owner of these test cases. Text for filtering, and human readable scenario which you can provide to your colleagues for analyzing what's going on in this test. So this is a full list of attributes of every test case. Let's put it in the code. How it looks like. It's Java, but in any language you can use the same structure in Python, JS, and other language. So first of all, I have annotation, display name with human readable title. Also, I have two annotations with information about feature and story. Information about members, information about text, and human readable scenarios. It's completely equal with test in TestRail. So we can put it into the code, but it's really hard to understand. How many people understand it in code? And I think, okay, it's hard to understand when you are using another language, programming language, or know nothing about programming language at all. So it's really, but Allure can help you to resolve this problem. Allure supported many frameworks, and when you start your test from repository generate Allure report, you can see this picture. First of all, it contains information about title, information about groups, favorites and end-to favorites, information about owner, text for filtering, and human-readable scenario. And this writes from the code. So this report generates from the code which you write. So it's completely we have all attributes of this case in Allure report, but it's static page and it's cool with automation because it's built for automation, but it's really bad for manual testers. So you can store here information about manual tests, and you can maintain in Allure report any test runs, manual test runs, and other information. And for solve this problem, we built Allure Server. It's our brand new product. We are working on it right now, and I show you how it can helps you fix this problem. So Allure is all-in-one solution. It contains information about test automation, test reports, about information about test cases and analytics. And let's look on these three workflow and how it works in Allure. First of all, create test cases. Developer, code, Jenkins, Allure, that's all. No more manual work. So, we have native integration with any built CI system, and Allure absorbs results from these CIs and generates reports. It's a little demo, how it looks like. I write in the code, and what? Yes, it's video. I'm joking. So I write this code, and it's just code. And after that, it's clear Allure installation. Is not contain information about any test case. Is Russian. Sorry. Yes. We run this job. Is here, so we have information about browser, Jenkins job, and results in real time. So after that, we go to test cases, and this is generated test cases for my code. So I just write code, and after that, test case generates automatically with all required information about what this test doing, and with any meta information about tags, members, custom fields, and other information. Also, so we see this test case, and it's this code. It's equal, and it's automation first. So you just need to write tests in the code, and we generate test documentation for you automatically. Also, we have IDE plugin support for manual testers. It's kind of code generation. It's really cool. So let's see how it works. First of all, we create new feature. We create new story, external auth, and we test auth with Google. So let's type some kind of scenario, type login, type password, submit the form. User should be authorized. Username should be Eroshenko. So we have scenario. After that, we goes to our IDE, and using plugin, we generate a temporary test for automation. It works with Java, Kotlin, Python, and Cucumber. So any test case which written in test case management system can generate temporary test for automation engineer without copying any other information with complete scenario. So it helps manual testers for be closer to automation if they needs it, or for QA developers, it's reduce any manual work with test case scenarios. The second one is update test cases. How it works? Jenkins builds Allure reports, and Allure, if Allure knows about this case, Allure update it, or in other case, it create new test case. So how it works? I change my test case, I add layer, it's a web test, so I put it in the layer web, and I say that it's sets for page favorites. I start my job second time, and we see information about job. Oh, okay, it's complete. We're going to tree, and we see information about layer, UI tests, information about page under test, user favorites, and after that we see that our test cases is updated according last passed test result. So it's really cool, and it works in another line. We can change information in Allure and sync it with your code. So a manual tester can change information in our system, and after that we can pull changes and add it to the code, right in the code. It's really cool and save you a lot of time. And the last one is run test cases. So I think when I fix my test, I need to run just one test for understand it passed or failed. So in Allure Server, I can do this because Allure collect information about any running job and about any test case in job. So I can create single launch. I can check my test cases for launch. It's one test case, and run it. Allure push notification to Jenkins, and Jenkins run one test instead of running all the tests. So you can see it's one test passed and other test was skipped. It's really a cool feature because you need run just one test instead of running all the tests, and you save a lot of time here. And the last feature, you can run manual and automated tests together from Allure. For this reason, you need to create test plan, manual and automated. After that, you need to configure or I need to configure this test plan and add information about job to run, submit, and when we start our test plan, we need to create name, automated and manual run. Also, we need may create some kind of text, smoke, manual, automated, add environment, browser, Firefox, and branch and host, and started. So all information about environment push it to Jenkins, and you can select manual test, pass it, and create attachment, screenshot. It's really useful when you pass your test. It looks like here, screenshot, and after that, pass it, all right. Allure runs only manual tests and send information about automated tests right to the Jenkins job. So you have aggregated report with automated test and manual test in one place. It's really good feature, and it's kind of cool stuff. So this information, this how Allure Server helps you solve automation problems in usual test case management systems. We build it for manual tester, automated for working together. It contains information about reporting, test cases, analytics, with many native integration, Jira, Bamboo, GitHub, GitLab, Java, Ruby, Python, and other stuff. If you like it, you can join our community. their open source repository, Allure framework. Here you see information about our chat for supporting. This is my Twitter and our address of our site. And that's all. Thank you. Thank you for.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I'd like to add at the end of Artem's talk that in Wrike we use it. We were lucky to try it sort of first. And so we have, well, I want to share with you that we use it mostly for collecting our test automation test base, because historically we usually use test case management system for exactly the way to transfer knowledge from manuals to automation guides. So we get rid of our traditional test case management system through that, and we are looking forward to work with the manual scenarios. But we have sort of ideas that the best combination for now is that to have checklists and automation. So we don't need test cases, and maybe most of you also don't write it if you don't have to. The idea is to have checklists and easily transfer them to test automation, and this is what we are still waiting in the product.